Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to another movie review, and today I am going to be reviewing The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey. This is the first film in the Hobbit trilogy, directed by Peter Jackson, starring Martin Freeman as the Hobbit, Bilbo Baggins. And this movie takes place roughly 60 years before the events of Lord of the Rings, and Bilbo Baggins is living in the Shire, and Gandalf, played by Ian McKellen, manages to convince him to join himself and 13 other dwarves to travel across Middle-earth to reclaim the dwarvish land of Erebor that was taken away by an evil dragon called Smaug. And we get an epic movie filled with adventure and traveling and walking and adventure and traveling and walking. Now I just want to start off this review by saying that I don't hate this movie. In fact, I like it for the most part, but there's a lot of give and take. As I said, Peter Jackson directed this movie, and he also directed the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Now, the Lord of the Rings trilogy is such an impressive trilogy that it's really hard to replicate the same success that film series had on this film series. But let's start off by talking about the positive aspects of the film first before we get into the negative ones. First off, all the acting is great. I mean, Martin Freeman as Bilbo Baggins knocks it out of the park. That was excellent casting. It's great to see Ian McKellen back as Gandalf from the Lord of the Rings films. He still has that charm, he still has that wit, he's still Gandalf, and I still love him. And a lot of the supporting characters were actually really believable, and they did well in their roles. This movie is also really well directed. You can really tell that this has a Lord of the Rings-y feel, if you know what I mean. The musical score throughout this movie is excellent. There are times where the music comes in at just the right moment, and it legit gave me like adrenaline. I was like, yes, yes, you go, this music is awesome and this scene is awesome. But I feel that the Hobbit films lost a lot of the authenticity that the original Lord of the Rings trilogy had. This movie is 2 hours and 38 minutes, not counting credits, and it just flows horrendously. In fact, Bilbo Baggins goes out to pursue the dwarves already starting on their adventure like 40 minutes into the movie. 40 minutes? Are you serious? And even before that 40-minute mark, there's just a lot of talking, there's a lot of planning, and I get that they want to set up this whole adventure as best they can, but it was just so overlong and so boring. And I think a lot of this bloatedness comes with the fact that Peter Jackson was, of course, originally going to make 2 Hobbit films instead of 3. Also, there's a lot of green screen and computer-generated imagery in this movie that's just really noticeable. Like, I was watching some scenes in this movie and I was like, yeah, they're standing in front of a green screen. Yeah, that's not real. This is really sad. And I think the filmmakers kind of forgot while making this movie that when audiences are watching a movie with a lot of computer-generated imagery in it, and it's just way overused and it's not really all that great, the audience will be able to tell. Now, there is a character in this movie named Radagast the Brown. If you don't know who Radagast the Brown is, he's basically this character that really loves nature. You know, he's an old wizard that lives in the forest, but I didn't really find that he had much place in this story. He didn't really do much besides, you know, stall the main character's adventures. It just felt like they were blatantly trying to shove as much stuff in this first film as possible so they could stretch out the runtime of these movies to make a trilogy. All in all, guys, The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey is a well-directed movie. A lot of scenes are really well done. The music is fantastic, and a lot of the acting is really great. I really like the idea of Martin Freeman as Bilbo Baggins. I thought he was great in the movie, and this movie really feels like a Middle-earth movie, you know? It fits into the whole series. But the insane overuse of bad green screen and CGI just made for a very artificial-looking experience. This movie starts like 20 minutes after it should have, and this movie just suffers from terrible pacing and a bloated plot that just didn't need to be like this. I'm gonna give The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey a 7.5 out of 10. If you're a Middle-earth fan, see this movie. If you love the Lord of the Rings trilogy, watch these movies as a fan of the Lord of the Rings. Maybe you'll love them, maybe you'll hate them, I don't know. And that's about all I have to say. And that does it, guys, for my movie review for The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey. Next time, I am going to be reviewing The Hobbit: The Desolation of Smaug, which is a much better sequel. I'm really excited to review that movie, and I hope you guys stick around to watch it. And that's my time. Goodbye.